Hello, how's everybody doing today? This is Rich Harshaw. I am the, well, let's see, what am I? I am the founder, CEO, and author of Monopolize Your Marketplace. Thank you so much for being with me today. We are going to start this webinar in just a second. We always have a huge influx of people right at the last minute, starting from about 1 minute till the hour until about 1 minute after the hour, and we're right in the middle of that. So I'm going to give everybody just another minute or two. For those of you who were on time, thank you, and hopefully it doesn't aggravate you too much that we wait just a second for a few more folks to get on. We're going to start in about 30 seconds. Okay, and 30 seconds is up, and it worked. We got a big influx of people right there at the top of the hour. Well, as you can see on your screen, we're going to talk about what I call cracking the 80-20 rule. Four simple marketing principles that'll make 80% of the difference in your marketing. I learned this a long time ago from a motivational speaker named Jim Rohn. He said that most things really come down to about a half a dozen things, give or take one or two, and the reality is, as we look at your marketing, things are different, things have changed. Some of you maybe used to do telemarketing back in the old days before Do Not Call, and that obviously went away, and now you're maybe trying to do canvassing. The ads that you used to put in the paper, they don't work anymore, and a lot of guys are just out there flailing, trying to figure out what to do. The recession has come and gone, and now most people are kind of back on strong footing, or at least getting that way. And the question comes up all the time, well, geez, what do we do from a marketing standpoint? You're in charge of your company. You do the sales training. You do the sales management. You do the financial part of your business. You do the operations and production and all these things. And then at the end of the day, you look up and you go, oh, yeah, crap, marketing. I forgot. I need to get that done, and I need more leads. And it's just something that nobody really seems to have a good handle on. Well, I'm going to give you a good handle on it today. What you're about to learn, I would say, is very close to revolutionary. It's very simple. Nothing I'm going to say today is going to sound weird or strange. It's all going to ring instantly true to you. And at the end of this presentation today, hopefully what you're going to do is you're going to look up and say, holy crap, that dude knows what he's talking about, because I'm here to tell you, I know what I'm talking about. This isn't some kind of theory or fluff or anything like that. We work with remodeling companies all the time. We know what we're doing, and this is the stuff. These are the few things. These are the four things specifically that you need to know. All the other stuff that you can do, some of it's important, some of it's good, some of it's helpful, but from an 80-20 rule perspective, this is the stuff that you absolutely must master, and you have to master it in the order that I'm going to go through it today. If you start in and say, well, I just want to go to number 4, it doesn't work that way. Number 4 is going to be talking about advertising. If you jump right into doing advertising without doing the 1 and 2 and 3, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Don't do it. This is where so many people fail. They come to me and they say, I need more leads. And I say, great, let's do these other things first. They say, I don't have time to do those other things. Well, then it's not going to work. You just can't do things out of order. It's so simple. So let's get right into it, okay? This is going to be very fast moving. This is going to be recorded. We're going to post a video of it online. You can see that probably either later today or tomorrow. We'll send an email out. Take notes as best you can, but just stick with me. I'm going to move really, really fast. Some people say, well, Rich, you move too fast. Sorry, that's just how fast I move. I've got too much stuff to cover, so let's get into it. I'll tell you who I am very quickly. Like I said, founder, author, and CEO of Monopolize Your Marketplace. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. Started out as a general marketing consultant, developed what I call MWAM, Monopolize Your Marketplace. It's a marketing system. Been doing it for over 15 years, specifically working on training companies how to do this for themselves, how to learn it. We do ongoing training. We've got a program called the MWAM Insider where I do webinars every month for our members. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. We also do a 4-day live training program. It's unbelievable. We go through in a very compact period of time how to do this marketing, but I train companies how to do this stuff. I've done over 10,000 hours of training. That's probably a conservative number. I've worked with over 10,000 different companies in every industry. But in 2005, we started working with a company called Market Sharp. Now, if you're not familiar with a company called Market Sharp, you need to get familiar with a company called Market Sharp. It's a company that specializes in software specifically for the home improvement industry, for exterior and interior remodelers. They help you track your leads, your sales, your follow-ups, everything. It's an unbelievable software. I met the guy that's founded the company named Tim Mush in 2005, and he said, hey, Rich, you need to come and do some work in the remodeling industry. The marketing in this industry is pathetic. Nobody knows what they're doing. There's no specialists. There's no experts, and you can come in here and you can help out. We need help. So that's what I've been doing since 2007. We now spend a tremendous amount of our time working specifically with companies just like yours. If you do kitchen and bath remodeling, if you do window replacement, siding, roofing, decks, all that kind of stuff, sunroofs, we work with all of those kinds of companies. And the marketing and the principles that surround the marketing of all those different kinds of companies is exactly the same. So whatever part of that industry you reside in, I promise you what you're about to learn today is 1,000,000,000% applicable to you, okay? So we put together, like I said a minute ago, our Insider and our MYM Live programs. We've been doing those since 2007. I'll give you an opportunity to understand those a little bit later. The rules have changed, okay? Here's what people say. Get me more leads and we'll be successful. I just need more leads. You think that you'll close a certain percentage of those leads and you'll be fine. You say, look, we close 30% of our leads. Right now we've got 500 leads a year. We need 700 leads per year and we'll be fine. This is false thinking. The rules have changed. You can't just add more leads anymore. You have to do things besides just shoving an ad in the paper and telling people, hey, we're here. You know that doesn't work. You know it doesn't work. So let's not even have a conversation about, can I just put my ad in the paper and get people to call because you know it doesn't work. And you say, well, hey, Rich, help me write a better ad. I'll help you write a better ad, but first you've got to do the foundational things that we're going to talk about today, okay? The days of just being good in sales and hiring all these sales guys, sales trainers to come in and help you to close. Okay, that's great. Do it. You need to know how to close, but you know what? You can't close the prospect that you're not sitting in front of. The one that came to your website and then bailed out after 2 seconds, or the one that came to your website, looked around for three or 4 minutes and said, nah, or the one that never called you that saw your ad. All these guys that you never even get the opportunity, I'm going to show you how to capture them, okay? I'm going to show you how to capture them. You've got to take a broader look at your business. You have to do these things in order. There's no exceptions. Here's number one. We're going to go through these in detail. It's the purpose of this webinar. First of all, forge a unique, memorable, and powerful identity. You say, well, what the heck's an identity, Rich? Stick with me. At the end of this presentation, you're going to know exactly what an identity is, and here's what you're also going to know. You probably don't have one, and it's probably costing you big time. I'm going to go through this in tremendous detail. Hold on just a second. I'm going to get to it. The next thing is winning the now buyer battle. This is very specifically talking about internet marketing. Everybody always talks about internet marketing. I know you've probably been on webinars about internet marketing, and you need to do search engine optimization, all this stuff. I'm going to tell you this. If your website is not done properly, according to the principles that I'm going to show you today on this webinar, you're fooling yourself. You're getting screwed. You're not converting like you should. You probably don't even know it, and you're blaming the lack of results on all kinds of stuff that really should be pointing at you because your website's not right, and everything else after that is not going to work. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Next, preconditioning. Prepositioning, preconditioning. We'll interchange those two words. Preconditioning the prospect, eliminating sales resistance before your salesperson ever shows up in the house. Is that possible? Uh-huh. I'll show you how. Next, these are the things that you need to do to grow your business. But then, investing in relationship building advertising, okay? Let's just get it out there right now. The days of just throwing your ad in the paper, putting an ad on the radio, getting the phone to ring, doesn't work. It will not work. I cannot show you how to write an ad that'll work because it doesn't work. Okay, all of the fundamental underpinnings that used to make that work, they're all different now. They don't work anymore. So if you do the three things on the top of the screen, then you will be eligible to do what the first word says, which is invest your profits in relationship building advertising. I'll go through that, not as much time and detail as the other issue that we're going to talk about. That's a different topic for more detail for another day, but understand this loud and clear. The days of just taking your ad and shoving it in the paper and getting the phone to ring is not going to work, okay? The days of buying a pay-per-click ad and getting people to click over to your website and then become a lead, you probably never figured that out in the first place, but that's not going to work either. It all starts with identity, okay? So let's talk about identity. Standing for something, forging your company's unique, specific, powerful identity. Here's what we find. Almost all marketing is full of platitudes. There's no identifiable identity. Here's what a platitude is. It's words or phrases that are drearily commonplace, that are predictable, that lack power to evoke interest through overuse and repetition, but you say them as if they were original and significant. Things like best service and highest quality and largest selection and free estimates, all this stuff that is garbage that you find in most marketing, most ads, specifically in home improvement, remodeling, and other industries, but specifically to you, you see these things in the ads, and you know what? It's just not, it means nothing to the prospect. They see this, and they would just naturally assume that you would say those kinds of things. Okay, we've been in business since 1431 BC. It's not going to cut the mustard. Here's what an identity is. In stark contrast to a platitude, an identity is the polar opposite. Words and phrases and images articulated with power, precision, and passion to instantly and definitively communicate who you are, what you're all about, and what customers can expect when doing business with you. Okay? Who you are, what you're all about, and what customers can expect when doing business with you. I'll show you examples to prove to you that the way you're doing it now probably isn't right. So let's play a little game. It's like a game show. What's your identity? I know it's kind of a cheesy graphic, but stick with me, okay? So here's a company. This is a website, MGS Roofing. Let me ask you this. Why would you do business with this company? Why hire them? You need to understand something. If people are searching the internet and they find your website, the only thing they have to go on is what's in front of their eyeballs right at the particular moment. You say, oh, no, we've been in business here for 500 years and everybody knows us. No, they don't. Not everybody knows you. If everybody knows you, why would they even be online looking? Because they don't know. People don't get remodeling done that often. They don't replace their windows maybe once per lifetime. They don't know who to buy. They weren't paying attention to your ads for the last 25 years when you're running them because they didn't need it. It's like this. If you don't have teenage kids, do you have any idea who the best orthodontist in the market is? The answer is, of course, you don't, because you're not paying attention, even though they're spending all their money on their ads. When people need remodeling, that's when they start to pay attention and look. And if they find this website and we ask the question, hey, why would you do business with this company? The answer is, we have no idea. We install roofs on houses with nails. That's about all they're going to get out of this website. What about this one? JP Construction, great products, Austin Window Company. We sell windows in Austin. Yep, that's what we do. That's all we can tell, okay? Here's a home show. Maybe you're in the home show season right now. This is a company. What can we tell by looking at this home show booth besides we got a lazy lady sitting there? We sell bathtubs that fit. Bath fitter, right? That's it. There's no identity being discussed, described, or communicated in this setting. Here's another one from a home show. What's being communicated here? We paint houses with colors. That's about it. What can you expect when you hire this company? What do you stand for? Why would you hire this company instead of another one? None of that is being communicated with their signs, with their booth, in the other cases with the website. Okay, here's an ad. Runs in a magazine. Aslan Design and Renovation, bath design. Picture yourself in a brand new bath. What's the identity of this company? Well, we sell baths, and our name is Aslan. That's about it. You can tell because they've got the word Aslan bolded 3 times in the text. Just in case we forgot from looking at the top that their name was Aslan with their dumb lion logo. This is ridiculous. This is what people are putting out there to try to sell their products and services. The reason they do this is because they don't know any better. You're going to know better after today. Are you remodeling? Kitchens, bathrooms, basements? We were born to remodel. Here's what you know from this company. If you need 3 toilets, we can do that. Look at the picture real closely. I don't know who's ordering the bathroom with 3 toilets, but apparently, personally, I would prefer partition there. Okay, you say, well, we don't run ads that are that cheesy. We run this nice professional ad. Okay, well, here's a nice professional ad. How do you like this one? Cabinets to your specifications. We'll take your ideas and transform them into a magnificent space with your unique taste in mind. Okay, that's pretty good. It's not too bad, but then you start comparing it against other remodelers that are higher end, and they all start looking kind of the same. We offer a full range of remodeling services. Okay, so these ads look okay, but they don't communicate anything other than we can pretty much remodel stuff. That's what we do. Why would you hire this company? Well, because they do stuff. Now, let's put these 2 ads side by side. Tell me what you think. side by side, which of these companies would you hire? And you say, well, I like the one on the right. It looks pretty. Okay, that's good. Nothing wrong with looking pretty. That's an important part of the equation, especially for higher-end companies that do pretty stuff. Maybe that's you, maybe that's not you. If you're selling windows, I got news. It's not that pretty. It's a window. So how do we distinguish which of these companies are any better, any different, any worse than the others? The answer is we cannot, based on what they have given us. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about this for a minute. What is it that you do that makes you truly different, better, unique, and worthwhile to hire? Why do people hire you specifically? And I want you to consider drawing a line in the sand of what you do and what you do not do. One of the problems that we see is people try to do all things, be all things to all people. Let's draw a little bit of a line in the sand. I'm going to show you several examples of this in just a minute. Remember, the definition of identity are words, phrases, and images articulated with power, precision, and passion. I want you to take and write that down: power, precision, and passion. This is so critical to everything that we're going to do today. Power, precision, and passion that instantly, definitively communicate who you are, what you're all about, what customers can expect when doing business with you. Okay, so let's talk about how to actually do this. How to create a powerful identity. Step one, what makes you tick? Here's some questions you can ask yourself. Jot these down. What do you already do that customers like? You could probably put something. What do you take particular pride in? What makes you better and different than most of your competitors? What are you really, really good at? What do you want written on your tombstone? So think about it this way. If your company was dead, unfortunately, someday it may die. I know they don't bury companies in the graveyard, but if they did and they had only a small amount of headstone to chisel in something about your company, what would they write? What would they write? Would they write low prices in business since 1431 BC? I hope not. Here's a good question. What are you absolutely unwilling to fudge on? What is it that you stand for? What are you uncompromising on? Think about this for just a minute. I'm going to show you several examples. All of this will fall into place for you. Stick with me. Okay? So here's a few concepts that you could start with. Maybe you're very unique and artistic. Maybe you're a one-of-a-kind remodeler. Maybe you're the company that doesn't apply a lot of sales pressure. Maybe you keep appointments short. Maybe you're the trustworthy remodeling company, or your workmanship is very high quality. You say, okay, well, we said that in our website. We said that we were high quality. Well, you know what? I'm going to show you how to say it in a way that's powerful, precise, and passionate, so that people look at it and go, man, that is awesome. I'm going to call these guys. Right now, they're probably looking at your website. They're probably looking at your ad. They're probably looking at your brochure, and they're saying, those guys look pretty good. You don't want to be the guy that looks, pretty good, okay? Maybe you're the fair pricing or no pricing games company. Maybe you do things very, very fast or give more value for the dollar. Maybe a combination of those things. Let's go to step two, building a case. Imagine you were being put on trial and you had to prove that you were blank. Now, blank is whatever you just identified a minute ago in the last exercise, okay? If you were put on trial, you had to prove that you were blank. Could you do it? I mean, think about court cases. You don't just get up in front of the jury and say, oh, well, I wasn't there at the scene of the crime. There's no way I could have done it. And the jury wants to know, well, where were you? Who were you with? Did anybody see you? What were you wearing? Is there any photographic evidence? Do you have a receipt? Details. When did you get picked up? When did you leave? Where did you go? When did you get back? People want to know these things. And here's what you need to be able to do is to prove, not just by claiming, but by proving, and I'll show you how to do this a little bit later on in this webinar, that what you're saying is true. Could you produce evidence? Could you tell stories to back it up? Could you provide a witness that would prove it? You need to be specific. You can't use platitudes. Remember, power, precision, and passion, okay? Now, step three is exactly that, power, precision, and passion. And when you speak with power, people will believe that you are powerful. Now, let me just tell you something, okay? This is one of those things where you have to say, okay, who's this guy in this webinar? He sounds a little bit hyper. I don't know who this guy is. He sounds kind of like a jerk. Can I really believe what he's saying? Let me tell you this. Get past all that, and I'm going to tell you a hard truth right now. You might be really good in a sales appointment, okay? Let's assume that you are. You're probably the owner of the company if you're on this webinar. But you know what? You do not have an ability. You say, well, how do you know this, Rich? I know this because I've dealt with 1,000 of you. And you do not have the ability to translate all of the wonderful things that you say in a sales meeting onto a printed page, onto a computer screen, where the real battlefield is when people are just looking, taking a look, checking you out, you're failing miserably because you don't know how to communicate in those arenas, okay? You don't speak with power, and people don't believe you're powerful in a marketing environment. When you speak with power, people are going to be drawn to you. They're not going to question your character and your competence if you're speaking with power. When you speak with power, you're going to stand out from the crowd. I'm going to show you multiple examples of speaking with lion caliber, not lying, lion, like king of the jungle, lion caliber power, okay? So here's a few principles of power talk. I'm going to just throw these on the screen. Jot this list down if you feel like it. This is important stuff, but it's just by way of brief introduction. Be specific. Use absolutes. Words like always, never, exactly, insist. These are powerful words. I'll show you examples of that. We always insist on doing everything exactly right the first time, period. That's a very powerful way to say we do things right. Here's a weak way to say we do things right. We do things right. Here's a more powerful way to say we do things right. We always insist on doing everything exactly right the first time, period. No exceptions. See, it's more powerful. Now, we can put that on a page. I'll show you some examples of this in a minute, and you'll say, wow, that's a lot more powerful. Have a strong opinion. Tell it like it is. Use plain English. Sometimes when we start writing marketing, we like to use what I call $25 words. We want to impress the English teacher. That's not the way to go in marketing. We want to use plain English. We want to speak as people are used to talking and hearing and listening, okay? We want to elevate your attitude, become the customer's advocate, give genuine advice. We don't want to be cocky. We want to be confident. We want to be matter of fact. Then we want to find and use what I call juicy words, words that have a lot of inherent meaning that make people go, wow, that's powerful. I'll show you examples again in just a minute. And this is called Principles of Power Talk. Now, the point of this webinar right now is not to go through this in detail and give you a million examples of these. I've got other webinars where I go through this and give a million examples. I'm just trying to introduce these to you right now. So the hub of your business is going to become, guess what? Your identity. Your website is going to be pulled out of your identity. Your advertisements from your identity. Your pre-positioning from your identity. Home shows, I think you get the idea. Your sales presentation, your phone scripts, your mailers. Now, if you do not have, or if you have not identified, or if you are not currently aware of what your identity is, I've got a very bad news statement for you. Nobody else does either. Nobody else does either. And if you think you do, and you kind of do, and you think you do, but you're not really sure, and it's not being communicated with power and precision and passion, then it's not working for you, okay? So let's give you a case study here. There's a window company. These guys are out of Chicago. It's a customer of ours now. And they stated to me, now, you don't have to agree with their opinion. This is just a case study. We could do a case study on you, and your opinion might be different than some of your competitors as well. But they hate the way that the industry installs window, okay? What they call it 4 screws and caulk. They think that it's a disservice to the customer to simply yank the old window out, shove the new window in, put a couple shims in it to get it level, and then screw it in and caulk it. They think that's the wrong way to install a window. Now, again, this has nothing to do with your opinion of the right or wrong way to install a window. This is their identity, okay? That's their opinion. They hate it. It drives the guy crazy. He refuses to participate in that whole scene. They pay $200 to their installers to get it done exactly the right way. You say, well, what's the right way? It doesn't matter. It's not relevant to this conversation other than to say that they pay to get it done the right way, okay? They feel like if it's not done the right way, that underlying problems that cause window failure in the first place are just going to come back, and they're absolutely 100% unwilling to fudge on this. And I know because I asked the guy, I said, well, what if somebody would pay you less money to do what we call a rip and stick window installation? He says, I wouldn't take their money. I would send them to a competitor because I refuse to participate. I said, okay, it looks like you're absolutely unwilling to fudge on this. Here's the premise of the guy's identity. Anyone can sell a good window, but nobody installs them right. Now, you might be thinking, oh, so you're saying that my identity has to do with window installation. No, if you got that out of what I've been saying, you're not paying attention, or you're a knucklehead, or both. This is this particular company's. We have to, by definition, look at every single company we deal with individually. We interview them in depth for an hour and a half to find out what makes you tick. Then we write it into your specific
See, some guys say, oh, well, there's marketing in a box, right? Oh, well, let's just create all these marketing pieces, and then you come and pull them off the shelf and then put them in your marketing. That is bullcrap. It doesn't work because your company is extraordinarily unique and specific, and we've got to capture it for your company. So for this particular company, this was their website when we came along. This is called Change a View Windows. Changing the window replacement industry one view at a time. And there's this typical huge picture of Windows. Wow, that's impressive. Windows on a window website. Imagine that. And then there's a little thing here that says, click here to watch a video about proper window installation. But they haven't even educated me, the consumer, as to the issue and the idea that window installation must be done the proper way, or else the window is going to fail. They haven't educated me to that. They just put this little TV on here, and they're assuming that I know that there's some particular reason why I'd even want to watch that video, and there's not. This is the bottom part of the same. I couldn't show it all on one screenshot, so this is what it looks like if you scroll down, okay? We are so glad this is in nice font too, right? We are so glad you took the time to educate us on the different options available for installations. We really had no idea that we had choices. Thank you so much. We couldn't be happier. This is called bullcrap testimonial that nobody believes and makes no impact whatsoever except to make your bounce rate go up, okay? This is not good. This is horrible. This is what we came up with when we took their identity and integrated it into the website. It says, I quote, "The best windows on earth will fail if they're not installed properly. We're the only company in Chicago that pays our installers more to do the job right, no cutting corners." And you gasp and hiss and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you admit on your website that you pay people more, because everybody's going to naturally assume that you're then too expensive to hire. You realize how idiotic that way of thinking is? That's the way of thinking that says nobody drives a Mercedes, nobody drives a Lexus, nobody even drives a Honda or a Toyota, because everybody drives a freaking Kia because everybody just wants the lowest price. That's not true. People want the value. They want to know why. They want an opinion. They want somebody to tell them, hey, buddy, this is what you need to know. And here's a company that's saying, hey, buddy, here's what you need to know. There's the video there on the left. You see the little triangle. Don't buy windows from anyone until you've educated yourself. Most companies cut corners on installation, so you think you're getting a good deal. You can buy quality windows from over 300 companies in Chicago, but less than 5% know how to install them right. Don't fall victim to Rick and Stick installers. And then our pledge is down there. Now, we don't need to dissect this in tremendous detail for you to understand that if somebody was Googling Windows and they happened upon this website, that this is going to reach out of the computer screen, shake the prospect by the shoulders, and make them say to themselves, I need to take a look at this. Are they ultimately going to buy? I don't know. There's a lot of steps between now and buying, but this is putting us off on the right foot, okay? This is called identity, okay? Then we can take that identity and we can put it into a flyer. We can put it into a report. We can put it into a trade show banner. Don't let rip and stick installation ruin your new windows, okay? So remember, your identity is the hub of all of your marketing. It's your website and your ads and your pre-positioning and your home shows and your sales presentation and your mailers. If you don't identify and powerfully articulate your identity, everything else is going to suffer, and to put it bluntly, everything else is going to suck. And if that phrase offends you, then go be offended somewhere else, because I'm just speaking the truth, okay? And you know I am. Everybody that's listening to me is going, that dude's right, because you know I'm right. So let's go to round 2 of our game. Can you tell by looking at this ad that this is a company that specializes in unique? Let's look at it. Yowza, interesting, colorful, Moxie, specializing in breathtaking kitchens since 1984. We hate ordinary. Do you think there's any question what you could expect when you hire this company? Ordinary, everyday, tame, tired, mundane, same old kitchens bore us to tears. We specialize in pizzazz. Don't call us if you're looking for the usual, because we hate ordinary. Do you see how the identity of this company, which is we're a company that does unusual, unique, awesome stuff to kitchens? Can you see how it's absolutely integrated into this ad? There's zero question what this company stands for. Isn't that cool? The answer, yeah, Rich, that's cool. How about this company? This is a a company that sells window replacements without sales pressure. This is the ad. Meet Tim. Tim sells with replacement windows. Tim will sit in your home for 2.5 painful hours until you finally wear down and say yes. You know how remodeling contractors have a bad reputation? Well, they earned it. In and out in 59 minutes or free. And then here's another version of an ad. Do you know what the identity of this company is? Most companies send their salespeople to week-long sales boot camps. You don't even stand a chance. Our sales training is simple. Treat people with respect. And there's some text there, and we don't need to really read through that for you to get the idea. Here's what I want you to take out of this. This is not about writing an ad. This is not about putting together a website. This is not about any of that. This is about an identity that we can then forge into all of those other marketing areas. Here's a company that focuses on high-quality kitchen remodeling. Are you anxious to get the job done, or are you anxious to get the job done right? Finishing a kitchen remodel job is fast is seriously overrated. Can you tell by looking that this company is probably pretty freaking serious about getting the job done right? Well, how about this? I could honestly care if you have a list of 3 remodelers who are cheaper than me. We take a little longer. We cost a little more, but wait until you see the final product. Now, remember earlier when I challenged you to draw a line in the sand? Is this drawing a line in the sand? Here's what this guy's saying. If you want a cheap butt, stupid kitchen, I don't even want to talk to you. Keep walking, man. You say, well, that's scary. We might miss some business. No, you're not. You're not going to sell to that cheap butt guy anyway. He's going to clog up your phone. He's going to clog up your salesperson. He's going to waste your freaking time. You're going to be pissed off that you had to deal with him in the first place, and it's going to be a disaster. Why not just get rid of that guy and flush him down the toilet where he belongs in the first place? You say, well, Rich, we specialize in the low-end guy. Well, fine. Then we need to write an identity that relates to that particular situation. This is for this company. Please hear me loud and clear. Every company on this webinar needs to have an identity that is exactly, specifically tailored precisely to what you do, what you stand for, and why people would do business with you. So these are just examples. That's all they are, okay? Here's one that deals in fair prices. Your ad says your windows were $189 each. How come you're now telling me they're $359? It's called the classic bait and switch. This is a company that has an identity built around fair pricing and no pricing games. How much should you pay for a good window replacement window? $189? $1,200? The right answer is $525 installed. Now, again, don't look at that and say, well, no, windows cost $1,200, or no, we sell good windows for $189. It's not the point. The point is this company, their identity is based on what you see on this page, okay? Your identity might be different. If I'm marketing for a $189 window guy, guess what? It's a whole different ballgame, okay? Fast, introducing the bathroom remodeling process that's in and out in less than 2 days and costs less than $10,000. The days of contractors lingering for weeks are long gone. 1 day bathroom remodeling, yes, 1 day, not 2, just 1. Any questions? See, it's pretty simple, right? So let's wrap this up so we can get on to the next part of this. We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Okay, so first, look at what you already excel at and accentuate it. Innovate if you have to. Gather evidence. Tell your story. Communicate with power, precision, and passion. Integrate it throughout your entire business. And I want you to know this. I've spent 15 years of my career training companies how to do this stuff, okay? Here's what I found after 15 years. The vast majority of the companies do not want to be trained to do this stuff. They want to learn it. They do want the training, but at the end of the day, they want somebody to do it for them. We can do this for you. We offer an identity package for remodelers. It includes doing an interview with you, like I said, 60 to 90 minutes. We'll mock up your home page for your website. We'll put together a flyer. We'll create a slogan, and it'll be crystal clear. Here's our identity. We charge $1,000 for our MYM Insider members. We charge $1,500 for our non-members to do that. This is something that you may be interested in having us do for you. Let me just put it bluntly. If you do not have us do this for you, you're probably going to continue to suffer with mediocre results. You say, no, 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 we get good results. Your results, if they're good, are not nearly as good as they could and should be because, trust me, I have seen thousands and thousands and thousands of companies, and the number that has a true identity that's powerful, precise, and passionate is less than 1%. Okay? Number 2, by the way, you see the web address there at the bottom, mymonline.com/8020. You can see more about that there, okay? Let's go to number 2, fish where the fish are. I got to get a drink. Hang on. I'm back. Fishing where the fish are. Winning the battle of the now buyers, okay? We're talking about internet marketing here, and there's a big, fat, freaking wad of cash just waiting to be taken if you know how to take it. I am shocked, and I am appalled at the number of remodelers, successful ones, guys making lots and lots of money, who essentially have no internet presence whatsoever, other than having a crappy website. But they don't know how to get search engine results. They don't know how to get conversion of their website to prospects, into leads, and into sales. And they're just kind of floating around, existing with a crummy website. I'm going to show you how to capture it, okay? So let's fish to catch fish. The smartest dollars are spent online. Why? Because online prospects are already looking for what you sell. You don't have to convince them to buy something. You just have to find them and then show them that they should buy it from you. So, in other words, if you go out in the newspaper and you put your ad and it says, hey, we do remodeling, the majority of the people that see that ad don't want remodeling right now. They just don't. And most of the people that do, guess where they're already looking? Online. And if you're not set up with a big fat freaking net across the river, catching all the fish that are coming down, you are wasting effort and time and money, and you're losing out business that you should be getting, okay? All you've got to do is find these people. They're already out there, and you've just got to put a big net out there and show them why they should buy from you. There's 3 simple steps. Number 1, make your website better. And if you've been paying half a lick of attention over the last 25 minutes, then you're going to know, I'll bet this has a lot to do with my identity. Ding, 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 ding. You're right, it does. I'll show you this in just a second. Number 2, engage in search engine optimization. We call this SEO. About 50% of the remodelers that I talk to go, yeah, I think I've heard of that. The other 50% go, oh, yeah, we do that. And I say, well, how do you do that? And they go, well, we hired a guy. Well, does it work? Well, I don't really know. About 10% maybe actually have a strategy that's actually in place and is actually working. The other 90% either don't even know what it is or are fooling themselves thinking it's working when it's not. Okay, I'll talk about it in just a second. The next thing is pay-per-click advertising. This is text-based ads, and same thing. Some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. I'll tell you about it in just a second. Those of you who are familiar with this, you probably had a bad experience where you said, oh, we paid money, we got clicks, and nobody converted. Guess why nobody converted? Look at step number 1 under 3 simple steps on this page. Make your website better. Professional, identity, social proof. You're probably falling short there, and so people are clicking. They're coming to your website, and they're not converting, not because they're stupid, not because they're broke, not because they're dumb, not because it's over-competitive, but because your website was a flaming sack of turd, and it didn't work, and people looked at it and went, eh, and they went to another page, and you never got the call. That's what happened, okay? So let's talk about your website. The current website that you have right now, it probably looks okay. Maybe it looks really good, but it probably looks okay. It probably looks a lot like everyone else's website. It's probably full of platitudes. There's no identity to be found anywhere in it. It does not communicate your identity with power, precision, or passion. It lacks evidence to prove your case. See, this is all borrowing on things that we have already learned in the identity section of this webinar. And you think that all you need is more traffic to your site and all will be well. And that is absolutely 100% false. If you get 5 times more traffic to your website than you're getting right now, you're just going to have 5 times more failure because they're going to go to your website and go, well, there's nothing here. It doesn't convert them. So we've got to fix this website, okay? Think of it like internet dating. Now, I've been married for 20 years on May 1st. Coming right up. It'll be my anniversary. So I got married before the internet was even invented. So I don't really know much about internet dating. But think about internet dating for just a minute. If you were going to post a profile of yourself on internet dating, wouldn't you want to make yourself look as good as humanly possible? Okay, so you probably wouldn't post this picture online. You probably wouldn't post this picture online, even if that's what you look like. But the reality is, if we're equating, and if the analogy right now is that these pictures are the butt-ugly looking self and your website is a butt-ugly representation of who you are, the reality is that your website probably is not as ugly as these pictures are, to use this internet dating analogy. It probably is a lot more like this. Everybody knows who this is, right? This is Costanza from Seinfeld. Most people of our general age, anywhere from age 35 to 55, you know who Costanza is, right? Your website is probably very Costanza looking. It's not ugly and deformed like the guy on the left, but here's what it is. It's kind of short, it's kind of fat, it's kind of bald, it's not particularly good looking, it's a little bit dysfunctional. Now, here's the problem, and this is the major problem. Pay real close attention right now, because here's where it all comes together. Your company might be super awesome. You might be really the best company to do business with, but if your online profile, to use the dating analogy, your website makes you look sort of average and short and fat and bald, what a disservice that is. Wouldn't you rather post a picture that's more reflective of who you really are? And your website right now is not doing that. Now, here's the good news. All of your competitors suck at this too. So by making some relatively minor changes, you can quickly outcompete them, okay? The next thing after having a website that looks good and has identity in it is we've got to put some social proof. People are going to look to see what other people are doing to shortcut their own decision-making process. We call it social proof, okay? The more quantity of social proof available, the better. Here's the best kind of social proof, reviews. Reviews. It says on here testimonials, references, and photos. Those are all good. But here's the best one, reviews. You say, well, we got a bunch of testimonials. Yeah, you know what? Testimonials are very 2008, 2009. It's 2012, friends. You need to have reviews. Just like if you go to Amazon.com to buy something or a car online, you're going to read actual user reviews to get first-hand, unfiltered opinions about what people think about your company. Now, I don't have time on this call to detail how to put that in place, but think about it, write it down. You need to make that happen, okay? So, for instance, here's a review. If you look on the right-hand side, this is a garage door service company. This company actually has their reviews by county. So you can see that in Bergen County in New Jersey, they've got 144 reviews. In Essex County, they got 70. And then you can read the individual reviews. Precision was just great. I was just about the best service job I could ask for. But see, not just platitudes. If you read down into this, and we're not going to do it for sake of time on this call, but just to give you the principle here, it's very granular. It's very specific. It talks about specific issues that happened and that were important to this particular customer. You've got to put this on your website. If you don't, you're losing out. Social proof, okay? Reviews. I know you know what reviews are, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. You can use Guild Quality. You can use Google Places. You can use Angie's List. You can use a combination of those things, but you've got to get reviews, okay? Next is job site photos. Especially if you're a company that does remodeling that looks fun and interesting and beautiful and unique, like kitchens, baths, sunrooms, decks. Windows, not quite necessarily so much. Siding, not quite necessarily so much. I mean, you can definitely have pictures if you're in window and siding and roofing. Certainly you can show before and afters, particularly siding and roofing that's a little bit more visually explicit. Windows, the old windows tend to look fairly similar to the new windows, so it's not necessarily as dramatic. But here's the idea. We want to put a tremendous amount of social proof on the website, and we don't just want to put a before and an after picture, but as you can see on this website, this is a great example. We actually put in here not just the picture, but captions that explains, here's what's happening, here's what we did, here's what the customer wanted, here's the problem that was being solved, and here's what the solution looked like on the back end after the job was complete. This, my friends, is very, very powerful, okay? Now, let's look at professional sites with identity and social proof. I'm going to show you some before and after, okay? This is actually the website that we just looked at. This is their before. It's called Revive Remodeling, remodeling that revives the value of your life at home. And it's Don Isaacson, and he's got his little caption, "Welcome to Revive's website for information about your home improvement remodeling project. We're a full-service remodeling, blah, 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 blah." Okay? It's the same website that you see a million times. It's not particularly professional looking. It's a little bit homemade-ish looking, not bad enough that people are going to hate his guts. But you know what? We could do better. Here's what we came up with. A picture of Don close up, not smiling and looking all happy, but looking just a little bit serious. And he says, "Are you persnickety, demanding, hard to please, picky, that I'm the remodeler for you? I am not the fastest. I am not the cheapest. I am, however, according to my customers, the best. In remodeling, it's all about the details, and I'm obsessed with them. Why? Because I'd rather do things right rather than right now. It takes time to do things properly, and I refuse to compromise quality for speed." Remember these power words? I refuse to compromise quality for speed. I'm not the fastest, and I'm not the cheapest contractor around, but according to my customers, I exceed their expectations with the final result. Your investment in remodeling your home is something to take very seriously. It's about you, your needs, lifestyle, having minimal disruption during the construction. That's why I prefer to spend ample time with you, and it goes on. Feel free to call my cell number, interrupt my dinner, wake me up at 2 a.m., make me leave home early from vacation. My only concern is that your job is done 100% right. Here's 17 references you can click on right now, and you can call my customers. You don't even have to talk to me first. You can get a free estimate. You can check out our reviews by clicking here. You can see our online portfolio, folks. This is extremely powerful. Let me show you the before and the after again. There's the before, no identity, no social proof, not that professional. Here's the after, professional, identity, power, precision, passion, social proof. Okay, here's another one, Weber Construction. This is their website. You say, well, that's a crappy-looking website. Yeah, well, guess what? There's a lot of crappy-looking websites in this industry. The best choice for kitchen and bath. Weber Construction is a family-owned and operated professional general contracting business in Colorado Springs. This is not going to cut it. Here's what we put together. Never ask a remodeler, how much is your price? Instead, you should ask, what will I get for my money? How to get exactly what you want, nothing you don't want, and make absolutely sure it's right on budget. No fake lowball estimates, no outlandish, out-of-pocket fantasy bids. Now, you say, well, where does this come from? The background on this company is that they have a process that they make sure on the front end they get the quote and the bid exactly right, so they're not playing a bunch of pricing games. Okay? You can see on the right-hand side the list of services that they offer, kitchen, bathrooms, etc. Free estimate, check out the reviews, get their references, compare contractors. I'll talk about pre-positioning and comparing contractors here in just a second, but this gives you an idea right now. Here's another one, Upscale Remodeling. By the way, these are all very successful remodeling companies, folks. It's not like these are a bunch of idiots that can't, make any money and they're going broke. These are successful companies, but you know what? They're missing opportunities. Welcome to Upscale Remodeling. Steve Nash is a young man with old-fashioned values. He's honest and hardworking, innovative. By Arthur and Enid Ruoff of Northeast, whatever that is. Okay, here's what we came up with for this company. Again, power, precision, passion. From age 9, my dad taught me that when it comes to remodeling, only absolute unqualified perfection will do. Now I've assembled a dream team of like-minded, only perfection is acceptable remodeling pros. This is called an identity that's worth reading. And yes, this is the website. This is what we see on there. Compare local contractors. Let's face it, there's hundreds of remodelers out there. Many of them do a great job, others not so much. And then there's Upscale Remodeling, which started in 1992. I don't have time to read this. Then it talks about his dream team. The idea here is to integrate this identity. Okay? Now, if you're saying to yourself, it sounds good, but I'm not really sure how to do this, just call us after the webinar. We'll do an identity consultation with you. We'll help you figure out how to get this integrated into your business. A couple more, Incognito Custom Closets. This is the biggest custom closet company in Memphis, okay? They do a lot of business, very successful, but their website, not so great. You say, well, how did they get great if their website's not so good? Well, even a dead fish can float down water, man. Down the river, you're going to get business just by being out there and out competing. But what we want to do is take people and instantly convert them. There's a reason over 4,300 families have trusted Incognito since 1994. We always insist on doing every job exactly right. No flimsy hardware, drawer guides, or hinges ever. Look at that juicy word there. Flimsy. No cheap fiberboard wood or cheesy laminates. Cheesy. No, every process custom measured, constructed, and installed. No fast prefab kits with clumsy fit. You can see the words. They just ooze off this page with power. You'll look at your closet at least twice a day for the next 10 to 20 years. Give yourself something worth looking at. The surprisingly affordable custom closet solution. Okay? You can see over on the right the types of projects they do, references, and so forth. Okay? One more. Taylor & Young, windows, doors, and more. Does this start to look redundant? I mean, this is just a bunch of websites. About Taylor & Young, we were established in Pennsylvania 30 years ago. Today, we operate in Pennsylvania. Wow, we're still there. This is a guy who I identified on a consultation is a nerd. Just no way to put it. I said, you know what, you sound like a nerd, man, because he knew everything about windows. Here's what tipped me off that he was a nerd, though. He told me that he hates selling. He says, I'm good at it because people respect me for my knowledge, and they respect what I tell them, but I hate selling, and I can't ask for the order. It makes me uncomfortable. I just feel like if people want to buy from me, they can just buy from me, but if they don't have to. That's his attitude, okay? So I wrote this website based on his identity, which is looking for great windows without all the sales pressure, then call the window nerd. Fact, I know as much about windows as anyone on earth. Fact, sales situations make me really uncomfortable. Result, you get the best windows without the dog and pony show. Now, here's what I hope you've taken out of these examples. They're all different. They all tailor specifically to what the company is all about, what their identity is, what makes them tick, what makes them good, and that's what we want you to do so that your company instantly stands out in a powerful, precise, and passionate way, okay? Now, after your website is done, we've got to drive traffic. If you've got a site that's worth visiting, your first priority is search engine optimization. You want your company to come up on the first page when people search for what you sell. This takes time. It takes know-how. It takes ongoing, tender, loving care, TLC. You can't just slap this together. Your second priority is pay-per-click advertising. This is text ads in Google. I'll show this to you in just a second. It's a faster way to show up in search. It costs more money, but you still have to know how to do it. So here's a Google page by way of reference in case you don't know what I'm talking about. So if you were to Google for windows in Austin, Texas, these ads up here are the sponsored links. These are the ones that are pay-per-click ads. You bid a certain amount of money to appear on that section, and then Google puts you there. Everybody that clicks on that ad, you get dinged for a certain amount of money depending on how much you bid. Down here are the organic search results. These are the ones that come up from Google determining that your company is what people are looking for. We have got to nurture both of these so that you can appear on the first page so that when people who are already looking for what you sell go to Google or to Bing or to Yahoo, they find you, okay? Very briefly, let's talk about what I call the SEO pyramid. If this is tuning out for you because you don't understand it, just stick with me for 10 seconds, okay? To get search engine optimization to work right, you have to code your site the right way. That's stuff that only a nerd can do. Not the window nerd that I talked about a minute ago, but a programming nerd. Then you've got to feed new content to your website, have the right keywords on your website, create links so that Google says, hey, there's companies linking to this website. That shows that it's important. And then social media. All I want you to know now, because we have a brief amount of time, and the point of this webinar is not to go through this in detail, but the point is just to show you briefly what you need to do. You've got to get the coding right. You've got to get the content, keywords, linking, and social media right. If you don't even know what that stuff is, you're losing. If you know what it is, but you're not doing it very well, you're losing. If you don't know what it is, but you hired somebody to do it well, you've got to look at the results and see if it's working. This is stuff that is not optional. This is not, well, you can be in the newspaper or you can be in the mail or you can go to a home show. You decide. This is 100% non-optional. You have to do this. If you don't do this, here's what you're saying. I refuse to take business from people that are looking for what I sell. It's dumb. It's idiotic. You would never say that, yet your actions of actually capturing that business are probably not where you need them to be, okay? So I'm not going to go through these websites. Let's go through a now buyer wrap-up. Your site has to look professional, has to showcase your identity, and include social proof. You have to spend as much money as you have on SEO. Here's what that means. If you have a budget, a marketing budget, and you're trying to decide where to spend it, the very first thing you need to do is spend it on fixing your website. The very second thing you need to do is spend it on search engine optimization. If you don't know how to do it, you have to hire a company to do it for you, somebody that knows what they're doing. There's lots of companies that know how to do this stuff. It's not like it's any particular rocket science. It's more general science. People know how to do this. But if you're not doing it, you're losing. Once you've done that, spend as much money as you can on pay-per-click advertising. Test as you go. Make sure it's working for you. These are all things that we can do for you. We can build your website for you. We can do your SEO for you. We can do pay-per-click for you. We charge $2,500 to $4,000 for websites, depending on if you need us to build it for you or just write the content. Do you realize that we can write all of the content for your entire website for $2,500? What a steal that is. How many times will that come back to you over and over and over, return on investment, just by having your website work better? It's a ridiculously small investment. SEO and pay-per-click, you can see what those fees are. Again, we do charge more for non-members than we do for our MYM Insider members. Okay, let's move on to step 3. Step 1 was identity. Step 2 was internet marketing, capturing the now buyers. Part 3 is getting a head start, preconditioning leads so that you lower sales resistance. We're talking about making sure that when your salesperson shows up for the in-home or in the showroom appointment, that they're more likely to sell. This isn't about sales training. Go do that separately. I'm all for sales training. This is about preconditioning. We don't want to wait for the sales appointment. You can influence the prospect in your favor by using prepositioning. Before the sales meeting, we want to send a series of 2 to 5 emails, send out what we call a contractor standards guide and a product report. We want to make sure that your website is done properly, like we've already discussed, and there's some phone scripting. What you say on the phone can make a huge, huge difference in the results, okay? So if we do this, I'll show you the components of this in just a minute, but if we do this, we're going to be perceived as caring. Our products are going to seem more important. It's going to allow us to preemptively destroy our competitors because your competitors are not going to be doing this. You're going to be more powerful because we're going to be taking this identity and proactively putting it in front of the customer's face so they can see it, absorb it, understand it, okay? Your appointments are going to stick better, fewer dropped appointments. It's going to allow you to begin price conditioning. I cannot overemphasize the importance of price conditioning. Let me tell you what price conditioning means. Here's what it means. Anytime you go out to sell, the likelihood that people think what you're selling costs less money than it actually does is very high. In other words, people are going to tend to think that it's going to cost less money than it's actually going to cost. It's because they don't ever buy what you sell. It's a new experience for them. They never replaced their windows. They've never hired a kitchen remodeler before. So they've got a number in their mind that is probably lower than what it's actually going to cost. If you wait until the actual sales meeting to start addressing that and pushing their number higher, they're going to stall, they're going to be resistant, and they're going to be disappointed. What I would rather do is start to condition their price before I ever show up so that they've got an idea. Think about the company that says, I could care less if you've got 3 bids lower than mine. We're not the cheapest. We're not the fastest. Do you think that that customer is expecting the lowest price? Probably not. Your closing ratio is going to go up with prepositioning. Your sales price is going to go up. And something called confirmation bias is going to kick in. Here's what that is. I put a picture of our friend Barack on the screen only to make this point. If you like Barack Obama, then everything he does is wonderful. If you don't like Barack Obama, then no matter what he does, it's awful and terrible. We tend to believe what we want to believe, and we look for evidence to support what we believe, and we tend to discount and ignore and minimize evidence that goes against what we believe. Okay? This is a human nature principle. From a marketing standpoint, we can start to tell people what to believe, what to like, what to expect, and when we do this, they're going to tend to believe us, and we can influence people to believe what we tell them and to look for standards that we set and then to hold those standards up and compare other companies probably unfavorably against those. I'll show you what I mean right now. This is what we call a contractor standards guide. This is something we put together for our customers that helps them position themselves to their customers. Contractor standards guide sets a set of standards in 4 categories: reputation, financial stability, professionalism, and workmanship, and it shows customers, prospects, what they should look for and what they should expect when dealing with a remodeling company like yours. Okay, I'll give you an example of what that is here in just a second. This is just an example of some of the various contractor guides that we put together for different clients. I'm going to go through these fairly quickly so they can show you the contents, okay? So the contents has an introduction page that says, I was shocked and embarrassed when I found out that contractors were America's #1 most complained about industry. How to ensure your job gets done right the first time. And then we talk about stability, reputation, professionalism, and workmanship, and we show the customers inside of this guide what they should look for. We put together what's called a bank letter that states on the bank's letterhead that you're a financially stable company. This is something that any company could get, but almost no companies actually have this. We put this together as a standard. We show it to the customer, and we say, look, make sure that any company you deal with has a letter on their bank's letterhead showing that they have financial stability. Same thing goes for supplier letters. We put together an insurance certificate. We let people know why it's important to show that they have insurance certificates. Better Business Bureau, business licenses, memberships. We get into the professionalism section. We put together a worker conduct agreement. It's signed by the workers and the production managers that says that the workers will have that they will have a, what am I trying to say? That their appearance will be good, that they won't wear ratty clothes, that they won't listen to music that's loud, that they won't cuss or do drugs or drink alcohol on the job. We put together a bid specification that educates people to understand that you can't just have a receipt or a piece of paper that says, here's the price. We want to show them that the bids need to be detailed so that you don't get stuck paying more later. We put together what's called a no-pressure sales agreement. This is an agreement signed by the owner, sales manager, and salesperson that agrees, among other things, that they won't try to pressure people into buying things that they can't afford, that they'll educate them on all sides of the purchase, that if the prospect decides that they don't want to move forward, that they will respect that decision. And you might hear that and say, wow, why would I want to put that in place? And the reason is very simple, because as we show our customers that we respect them and we put this stuff in writing, they're going to say to themselves, wow, this is a company that I can trust, that I respect, that's going to treat me right. And then here's where confirmation bias comes in. They're going to start looking for things that they can trust, that makes them feel comfortable, and they're going to trust you. It's an amazing process. It starts with pre-positioning. This is something that we can help you put together, okay? Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of time on this webinar, but this is very powerful stuff. We take the warranties that you have, we put them into certificates so that they look more official, so that they're more easy for the customers to read and see what they say. Okay, this is called a contractor standards guide. We can send this ahead of time via mail, via FedEx, or we can just simply send it in a PDF. With the advent of tablet computers, we've got a lot more people that are reading things on their computer. It's very easy for them to do, rather than sitting in front of a computer screen reading a PDF where the screen is kind of the wrong orientation and it's hard to read and you have to scroll. With the tablet computer and the iPad, it becomes a lot easier. So we encourage you to use these electronic documents and hard copies if you want. Okay, let me give you an idea what happens when you put pre-positioning in place. This is a letter from one of our customers. It's a testimonial letter for the marketing saying how well that this pre-positioning works. It says, I didn't believe you when you told me what happened, but I did it anyway. This marketing crap really works. The phones are ringing, appointments and sales have doubled, crews are busy, our revenues are up almost 5 times higher. Thanks to your marketing program, we're now proving our value. We're getting out of the dog-eat-dog price game that used to drive us nuts. We're closing deals we never would have had at higher prices. I want to highlight a certain part of this. I want to show it to you. What's amazing are the hidden benefits. My sales manager is actually having fun with this new approach in sales tools. He's now commonly greeted on the first call in a friendlier way, in a relieved sort of way. The customer says they feel like they have someone they can trust. They talk about the ad when they call, and in person it's amazing. Our presentation is much stronger. Customers regularly tell us that we're by far the most professional company they've ever seen. It feels good. Here's what I want you to understand and realize about this. This company did not do anything different than they did before we met them. They simply took what they did, they compiled it into a contractor standards guide, they engaged in pre-positioning, their identity became very specific, powerful, passionate, and precise, and now everybody, their customers, their prospects recognize that, and they say things like, you're the most professional company we've ever seen. Well, guess what? It's the same company they used to be, but by pre-positioning and by doing these things, now people recognize it and they appreciate it, and now they're getting full credit for it, whereas before they were just another company, okay? So let's wrap up pre-positioning. Don't wait for the sales meeting to start selling. Convince them you're the best using Contractor Standards Guide. We didn't really talk about product reports. That's another part of it. Closing ratios are going to go up. Sales amounts go up. We do offer pre-positioning package that includes a customization of a Contractor Standards Guide, a product report. Product report means if you sell windows, we've got a window guide. If you sell gutter protection, we've got a gutter protection guide. If you do home remodeling, we've got a remodeling guide that we help you put together. We put together also 5 emails, a presentation folder, and an appointment sheet. This is all part of the pre-positioning fulfillment package. We sell it for $1,000 to our insider members. We don't even make this stuff available to our non-members because it's too valuable. If you're not committed enough to us to do business with us and become an insider member, we're not giving you our Contractor Standards Guide. We're just not. It's too valuable. It's not going to happen. Okay? So let's go to part 4 quickly, and then we'll wrap this up. I know you're all busy. I appreciate you sticking with me this long. I see that we've had no drop-off, so thank you for sticking with us. I do appreciate that. Let's go to part 4, which is capturing future buyers. We're talking about advertising, and the most important part about advertising in many cases is knowing where not to advertise and when not to advertise. Okay? Advertising inherently is an inefficient way to do business. Advertising includes things like mass media, radio, television, and so forth, and direct mail, but it tends to be inefficient. The majority of people who see your ads, they're not ready to buy right now. Remember, we already talked about capturing now buyers. Now we're talking about future buyers. What you want to do is spend as much money as you can on your website, search engine optimization, pay-per-click. Do all of that before you spend any money on advertising, particularly if you're a very small company. Don't spend any money on advertising. Spend it on your website, spend it on search engine, spend it on pay-per-click. Then if you have money left over, then let's talk about advertising. Here's the good news. There's only a limited amount of money that you can spend on those things. There's only so many clicks, okay? If you have money left over, spend it on advertising. Start with past customers and prospects. Okay, so we're going to talk about what I call intelligent mailing. Instead of going out to the radio or the television or the magazines or the newspapers, you should spend your first dollars on what I call intelligent mailing. People that have already raised their hand, your past customers, 70% of unclosed leads are going to buy from somebody within a year. So if we put together an email and a postcard mailing campaign to follow up with those people, and our current customers, we at least put quarterly mailers and emails in place to those people. We're going to get more business from them and referrals. Then we can extend that out to proximity mailers, new movers, targeted mailers. If you do proximity mailers, you're going to want to use MarketSharp. It's a fantastic product to be able to manage those kinds of programs. Again, the idea here is we're moving fairly quickly. What I want you to take out of this is the following. You shouldn't even be spending any money on mass media until you've exhausted all the dollars that are available for your website, for your search engine, for pay-per-click, and then intelligent mailings to your past customers and prospects because they're more likely to buy. Then let's get into some targeted mailers, whether it's proximity, new movers, maybe certain neighborhoods that you know are a good fit for what you sell. The key is a high frequency of contact, okay? Now, let's talk about mass media. This is for advanced users with larger budgets. This is where everyone wants to start, but it should be your lowest priority. Now, understand, we do an entire webinar on just this topic. We go into this in a tremendous amount of detail. But for now, just kind of get the general principles, okay? This is where everyone starts. It should be your lowest priority. If you're a small company, you can barely afford to market to now buyers, you have no business advertising, mass media, you shouldn't be doing it at all. You just shouldn't be. Goal number one, skim the now buyers and the now-ish buyers. But you know what? There's fewer now buyers reading the newspaper than there used to be because now when people get the idea that they might want to buy what you sell, they just go straight to the internet. 15 years ago, they didn't do that. 10 years ago, yeah, 5 years ago, more. Now, there's fewer and fewer now buyers left reading the newspaper. They've already gone to the website. Okay? If you have a strong identity, this is going to work better. Here's number two. Create awareness for your company so that when they do get ready to buy, they don't go to the internet. They just know to buy from you. So we're going to shortcut that process of people going and Googling later on when they decide they want to remodel their kitchen because they're going to just know to call you because they've heard your ad for the last 2 months, 12 months, 24 months, 5 years, who knows, okay? This is all going to work better if you have a strong identity. If you go on the radio and say, hey, we remodel kitchens, hey, we remodel kitchens, hey, we remodel kitchens, that is not nearly as powerful as going on the is going on the radio and saying, hey, we remodel kitchens, and I could honestly care less if you've got three bids that are lower than mine. We always insist on doing everything exactly right the first time. If you're persnickety, if you're hard to please, if you're picky, then you're the right customer for us because that's the only kind of prospects that we deal with. See, this is called integrating your identity into your advertising. If you don't have an identity, guess what? It's hard to do that. Here's some things to consider when choosing advertising vehicles. Number one, your ability to target your market. Who specifically are you marketing to? Higher end, homeowners, etc.? What percentage of your demographic can be reached? Here's a good one, exclusivity, competitive nature of the media. If there's 17 other companies that compete with you that are advertising, that might not be a good thing. I want you to strongly consider television and radio. I know that your first reaction when I put that on the screen is probably to say, well, you know, we've tried that before and it didn't work. Well, first of all, you probably didn't have a strong identity. Number two, you were probably investing dollars without really thinking in terms of investing. You were looking for an immediate return on investment, and I'm here to tell you, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen with radio. It's not going to happen with television. It's not going to happen with newspaper. The setup is not right. But here's the good news. If you're a little bit bigger company and you've got some money to invest, and it doesn't have to come back right away, if you invest in media advertising over time, you can dominate and own and absolutely obliterate your marketplace. That's the good news. If you're a small guy, that's not really good news. It's the truth, though. The reason I like radio and television, it's much more personal. The emotional appeal, the identity is much easier to communicate because you've got words, you've got word tone, you've got inflection, so much more powerful than just words on a page, okay? Think about me on this webinar with all the emotion I can muster, trying to convince you, begging you to get an identity versus just putting some bullet points on the screen, okay? I would avoid Clipper Magazine, decisions that are based on price, and non-targeted media. Okay, goals for advertising: hit your targeted market, minimize waste. You want a consistency of contacts to an individual. I want you to think when you're advertising like you're speaking to an individual person and having a conversation with that person over time. You do not need a given specific ad to convert that person to calling you. It's a dialogue. It happens over time. Ongoing conversation, price conditioning. You want to communicate with power and emotion. Ad writing with identity is an absolute 100% must. Offers with response mechanism, remember, future buyers. So we can offer people things like product reports. That's getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm going to pass on more discussion on that. Okay. Here's what your expectations for advertising should be, and I'm going to warn you right now, these are going to be lower than you're probably hoping. Don't even try it unless you've exhausted all your dollars that you can spend on now buyers and current contacts. At first, expect to spend in the neighborhood of 20 to 35% of sales on advertising. I know that's unacceptable. I know that you can't run your business on that. I've already stated explicitly this should be done with profits because this is an investment in your future sales. Here's what's going to happen. If you run your ad and you have a phone number and you sit there by the phone and you wait for it to ring and you divide the number of calls by the number of dollars you spent, you're going to get a cost per call, and it's not going to work. The number is not going to work for you. But here's what's going to happen. If you keep doing it and you keep doing it and your identity is strong and you've got profitability that you can afford this, here's what's going to happen. 2 years from now, 6 months from now, 21 months from now, you're going to run an ad. The phone will not necessarily ring, but an hour and a half from now, when somebody remembers you and they look you up on the internet or they know your phone number or they just remember you, they're going to call. And you'll start getting calls from your advertising that was not directly responsible from an advertisement that you ran. It'll start to work on a much broader basis, and it will work, but it does take patience. This is not for the faint of heart. Okay? The market's going to get conditioned. You're going to pull more and more leads. Your cost is going to start to drop. This is how the big get bigger and the small stay small. It's unfortunate, but it's true. If you're small, it's unfortunate. If you're big, it's great. Okay? You should settle in somewhere in the 10 to 20% range over time. Okay? So let's talk about budgeting, and then we're going to wrap this up and be done. Now buyers, website, SEO, pay-per-click, it should cost you about 15 to 30% of sales to start, and then 2 to 10% once you get it optimized. Your current contacts, mailings to your current prospects, it's going to cost you about 15 to 30% to start, and then about 5 to 15% once you get it optimized. Advertising, mass media, like I said, 20 to 35% to start, and then 10 to 20% after investing for a while. But it's going to take some time. Okay, this is your blueprint for your advertising budget right here. You say, well, I don't like that blueprint. Well, you know what? This is just the way the blueprint works. If you like it or don't like it is not relevant to whether this is true. I'm speaking truth right now. This is your blueprint. We've got to start with the now buyers. We then move to the current contacts. You then invest your profitability in advertising, and over time, it starts to make you a ton of money, but not right up front, not the first 5 minutes that you're doing it. If you have a first 5 minutes mentality, you're going to fail, and you're going to cuss me out because you're going to say it didn't work, even though I told you different. Okay? So this is what I just said. Previous contacts, targeted mailers, mass media, preference to radio. We offer several fulfillment packages, okay? So let me show you some things that we can do for you. We offer what's called a hopper system package where we can write emails and postcards that you can send out to your past customers and to your past prospects that haven't converted. We can help you put together a proximity marketing program. We call this super robust proximity marketing that includes postcards, a check mailer, job site signs, door hangers, follow-up scripts, and some other things. We've got a new mover package where we can help you put together postcards and check mailers and door hangers scripts for new movers. Okay, these are all things that we offer so that you don't have to sit around and scratch your head and figure out how to do it. We can just do it for you. Okay, we also can write custom ads for you if you'd like. So let's talk about how we can do business with you. I appreciate you sticking with me this far. If you'll please stay with me for just another 4 or 5 minutes, I want to go through this quickly, give you an idea of what you can do to engage with us so that we can help you get this in place so we can solve your marketing problems and help you get this done, okay? We offer foundational marketing that you have to have in order to operate your business. Starts with forging your identity. You know what, if you say, well, I don't really want the identity, to me that's the same as saying we don't want trucks, we don't want telephones, we don't want hammers, we don't want nails. You have to have this, okay? Okay, then choose which packages make the most sense for your business. I'll show you what this means in just a second. We've got modular pricing. It's easy to afford. So the identity package, it's on the screen right now. You can see that it includes the brochure, the website homepage. It's $1,000 for members. It's $1,500 for non-members. I'll tell you what the difference is between members and non-members here in just a second. Prepositioning will customize a contractor standards guide, product report, presentation folders. This is stuff that I've already covered earlier a few minutes ago. We sell it for $1,000 to our members, and it's not available to non-members. If you want to put together a home show, we've got a very specific home show package we put together that includes a giveaway program that works like a charm. The home show and event package includes a 10x8 backdrop. We design it. We put it together for you. We don't actually produce it. You have to pay extra to a third-party company to actually produce the banners, but we will design them for you. Same thing with the pop-up banners. We put together a postcard, a flyer, a giveaway sign-up sheet, what we call qualification questions. You can see this on your screen. We charge $1,000 for that, $1,500 for non-members. We've got a proximity marketing program. It's $1,000 for members, $1,500 for non-members. Okay, now if you go to our website, if you look at the very top, if you go to mymonline.com, and then on the right-hand side, if you click where it says 80/20 and bonus packages, you can see all of this in detail yourself, okay? So go to mymonline.com, and then if you click on the right-hand side where it says 80/20, and then where it says bonus packages, you can see this stuff. Here's the other packages. I won't go through these in detail other than to say we've got a fulfillment package for new movers, hopper systems, for doing your search engine optimization for you, pay-per-click services, ad writing. We'll build your website for you. We'll just write the content for your website if you've already got somebody that can build it for you. All of these things can be done. You can pick and choose which ones you want to do. Now, here's the key. This is going to be less expensive for you if you become an insider member. I'll show you how that works right now, okay? We've got two programs called MYM Live and MYM Insider. MYM Live is, obviously, as the name would suggest, it's a live training program. We do 4 days of intensive trainings. Contractors are in the room. They're going to be very similar businesses to yours. We're going to go through our entire MYM methodology. I'm going to show you how to actually take these principles and write great marketing. We're going to go through tactical marketing, everything we've covered in this webinar today and a ton more. We're going to talk about identity. We're going to talk about every form of advertising, budgeting, mailings, etc. We go through all of that in the 4-day workshop. It's a great way to immerse yourself in marketing, particularly MYM. We charge $7,990 for that 4-day workshop, but we only charge half price, $4,000, when you purchase it in conjunction with our MYM Insider program. So let me tell you what our MYM Insider program is. It's a training program. We hold 5 to 6 webinars a month, similar to the one that we're on now. There's not a sales pitch at the end because they're already members of our program. We've got a tactical marketing call, an innovation call. We've got a strategic marketing call. We've got what's called a Tuesday morning ad clinic where our members submit their ads to me and I review them live on the call. It's a lot of fun. We've got over 300 archived webinars on our member website. You can download any of those. You can read the summaries. You can get a feel for what those are. If you've got any kind of marketing need, we've got a webinar that's covered it. Submit your ads for review. You've got access to our pre-positioning materials. Remember, I said that we do not make those available to our non-members, so you can get access to our pre-positioning if you want those as a member. We've also got a database of 500 contractor ads that you can look at for as a frame of reference for maybe some ideas for your company. We also offer huge discounts on the fulfillment packages. Like you saw, our identity package is $1,000 for members, $1,500 for non-members. We charge $4,990 per year for our Insider program.
Okay, so it's basically $5,000 per year, and we let you pay it out over time. Now, let me tell you about the bonuses that we have for our members today. If you sign up with us today, what we're going to do is we're going to combine the insider package and the live training into one, and we're going to sell it for $8,985. Now, we're also going to give you a buttload of bonuses, so hang on just a second and let me tell you what those are. But if you join with us today, you'll get the MYM Insider Platinum Program for $4,990, and then you see at the bottom the MYM Live Training Program, which is normally $8,000, half price. So together, those things are $8,985. It includes all of the training, both live and via webinar, the discounts on our fulfillment packages. So if you buy that today, not only are you going to receive what's on the screen, you're also going to receive the following, the automatic free bonuses. First of all, we're going to give you 3 free months of MYM Insider, so it's 15 months instead of 12. It's normally a 12-month program. We're going to extend it to 15. I'm also going to give you 2 CD sets. One is our MYM 10 CD set. It's 11 hours. The other one is specifically geared. It's a 10 CD program specifically geared towards remodeling contractors. Those bonuses together are worth $2,050. Also, if you join with us today, I'm going to give you $5,000 of extra free bonuses, including the fulfillment packages that we just talked about. So, for instance, if you would like to get the identity package, you join our insider program, come to MYM Live. It's $8,985 like I just described. I'll give you $5,000 of bonuses. You can get the identity package. If you want to add the prepositioning package, fantastic. That's now up to $2,000. If you'd like us to create your website, we'll do that for you. Any of these packages that you want, we'll do these for free. Let me tell you why. Our experience is very simple. I'm going to be 100% honest with you right now. Our experience is that even though our customers love our training, even though it really gets them going, they like it, they understand it, they feel empowered by it, at the end of the day, a large percentage of them just never take the time to translate it into actually getting things done. So I looked up one day, this was at the end of last year, about 6 months ago, I said, screw it, our customers are loving the training, but they're not implementing, we will do it for them. We will create your identity for you. We will put your prepositioning together for you. We will create your website for you. I'm not going to hand your website off to some numbnut that doesn't know how to do things the right way and come up with some stupid website that's a piece of crap that doesn't work. We'll just do it for you. All we're asking for you to do is join our Insider program, attend our MYM Live program. We've been selling those programs for $8,985 for 5 years. We sell the crap out of it. We get lots of customers. However, only in the last few months have we actually offered these bonuses for free. So if you want to come on board and have us do this stuff for you, then it's a no-brainer, okay? So you can choose any of these, and if you buy it today, contact our office at the number that I'll show you. We'll actually upgrade you to $7,000 in extra bonuses, not $5,000, which is our normal offer. We'll do $7,000. So if you want to do, you can, with that $7,000, you can afford the identity package and website overhaul and pay-per-click and search engine optimization and contractor standards. $7,000 worth of these packages at member prices are yours for free, okay? So here's what you need to do. If you go to our website, you see it down there at the bottom, mymonline.com/8020. I showed you a minute ago. You can go to our main page and just click on the 8020 link. Scroll down, you'll see this. Choose what you want to do. If you join us for 1 year, it's $8,985. You'll get the 3 months for free, the bonuses. The total value of that is $16,235. It's $1,999 down, and then 14 equal payments of $499. It could not be easier to afford. You don't even have to give us a check for $9,000. Just $2,000 down and 14 payments of $499. If you'd like to extend it to 2 years, we'll give you 6 months for free, so it's a total of 30 months. We'll give you the same bonuses, $7,000 of bonus packages, but we'll also give you a discount on the second year of MYM Insider. It's a $400 discount. And we'll also give you a free iPad. And you know what? If you're going to get an iPad, you might as well do that. It also lowers your monthly payment. So it's still $1,999 down, but now it's only $399 for
29 payments. So you see it's 2 years plus 6 free months. That's 30 total. The $19.99 down and then 29 payments. So either way, you put a down payment and you make either 14 or 29 payments. All you have to do is go to our website, click on those buttons, and you can just put it right in your shopping cart and order it. When you do that, you'll be immediately contacted by Judy Schaefer in our office. She'll walk you through what the bonuses are, which ones you want to take advantage of. She'll help you decide, which of these $7,000 worth of bonus packages are right for you. She'll schedule you for an identity consultation, and you'll be off to the races. We can be talking to you about your identity and putting this stuff in place for you within just a couple days if you go ahead and sign up today. If you're not quite sure, if you want to talk to somebody first, there's a button that you can click on our website that'll bring up a form and a phone number, or you can just call the phone number that's on the screen right there, 817-756-6765. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to open this call up. We still have a ton of people on. I do appreciate you sticking with us. If you'd like to ask me any question, please type it into the question box, and I will answer it right now. I'll give you a second while you do that. Just go over to where it says questions on the console and go ahead and type that in. Any question you have on any topic, whether the topic is some of the principles we covered, or if you've got a question about the offer, whatever it is, go ahead and ask it right now. This is where I wait. And we've got way too many people on this call for there to be no questions. So please ask away. Okay? I'm not seeing any questions. That means that I've either done a tremendous job of explaining it or you don't have any questions. Okay, we're going to wrap up the webinar. I'm going to do the old going once, going twice. If I don't have any questions, then we're going to assume that you don't have any questions. So if you have any questions, please type them in now or forever hold your peace. Oh, hang on. I think we got a question. Oh, nope. No question. Okay, that's it then. Thanks so much for attending. I really appreciate your time on the call today. We will talk to you shortly, and we'd love to answer any questions you have. If you'd like to reach out to us in terms of an identity consultation, please do so. We'd love to help you get this stuff up and rolling. Thanks so much. Bye now.